There's a reason for the sunshine and sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when love's light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing through the moonlit nights with love. So let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. Then you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing. Let your love bind you to all living things. Let your love shine. You'll know what I mean. Yeah, that's the reason. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights. There's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season those love lights shine all around us. Let the wonder take you into space, lay you wonder. It's love in embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. Let your love, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, it's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing. Let your love bind you to all living things. Let your love shine. You'll know what I mean. That's the reason. Yeah, let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. It's the reason.
Yay! Yay, oh yay. Wait, you're in for a treat with the music this morning. Hi, everybody. It's the back of the church. There's like angels all in these front rows. Can you see them? Good morning. I want to welcome you. If you're here for the first time today, we have visitors from afar. Reverend Wesley Kramer and his beautiful bride Mary are here from Florida. And I want to welcome anyone who's here for the first time today, knowing that this is a center where we honor all who are on their spiritual pathway, who practice their beliefs in faith and love. So today is a good day. Reverend Nancy and I are on the pulpit for the first time together in 15 years. Yay! Yay! Yes. It's interesting that what goes around comes around eventually, right? You know, if we stay in one place long enough, we'll see the same people over and over again. Like I told Brenton and Marge this morning that I was going to call out the RCMP to see where they were, you know, to go find them. I haven't seen them in a bit. So our call to service at this center is lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from that one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. As Reverend Nancy lights the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The second candle we light for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. The eighth candle we light for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and for the space we hold for them at this center and in our hearts. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love, and most especially our own Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
So, we are here in recognition of that oneness of life, knowing that that infinite presence, that which created all things, is what we are here in honor of. As we step into this awareness and this experience this morning, we step into the idea that we know and understand and appreciate that oneness of life has chosen to come forth as each one of us. And as we step into this hour together, we step into an awareness that we are here to grow and to expand and to open ourselves to the newness of life. We accept and understand the wonders of who and what we are, and allow ourselves to soar with the idea that we are willing for this infiniteness that is the essence of who we are come forth in the newness of being. This is the wonder of this divine moment. Knowing this and understanding this, we allow our thoughts and our words and our understanding and our whole being, and even in the silence, to soar with the energy of being, the energy of life. With these thoughts and this understanding, we release this, we let it be, and rejoice. For it is so. So, as a united consciousness, we can let it be so by saying, so it is. Good morning. It is a wonderful experience when you stand up here and see the face of God looking back at you. And all its many forms, it reinforces the idea of the infiniteness of spirit itself. So, it's how interesting how things unfold in the sense of as we grow on this path and you have this understanding of you being on a spiritual path. And then love shows up in a new way, in a new understanding. Because love is that energy that keeps things going, you know. And one of the things that happened recently to me is that I really understood and appreciated and embraced the idea that I am being blessed each and every time a person asks me to do a treatment. Because I realized that it takes me to that place in my heart and my being that enriches me moment by moment, anytime, as long as I'm in it. So saying the words and the thoughts enriches my life in such a way that I am experiencing a greatness that I know that is in everyone. So that cornerstone of love that we know that exists, and we talk about it, and you realize it, and I realize that I am being given an opportunity to experience that love. Because in that loving idea of reaching and bringing things, and I'm bringing the concept of this energy into an expression for another being, allows me to experience the true greatness of that love. Because I open myself up without any restrictions of my own thinking. I'm opening myself up with the idea of lifting, of blessing, of greatness, and of glory. So I end up experiencing a greater wonder of my own self. And so the idea of love and allowing it to be the way in which we experience life becomes so much more attractive when you experience that. It's so much more pulling me forward to embrace another being. Because everyone is another opportunity for me to be blessed with experiencing the greatness of who I am. As I see it in this person or whoever I'm experiencing it with, I'm able to be it more and more, moment by moment. So, my heart says, see yourself as I see you right now, as the well of love and the greatness of spirit, and how I'm surrounded with it as I look at each face before me. And thank you for allowing me to share that.
Is it the face of a child? Is it the thrill of danger? Is it the kindness we see in the eyes of a stranger? the Holy Land? Is it standing right here, holding your hand? Or is it just like the movies? Is it rice and white lace? Is it the feeling I get when I wake to your face? I say it's love. I say it's love. Is it the first summer storm? Is it the colors of fall? Is it having so little and yet having it all? Is it one in a million? Is it a chance to belong? Or is it sitting right here singing this song? I say it's love, love. I say it's love. Is it a veil or a cross? Is it the poet's gift? Is it the face that lodged over 1,000 ships? Is it making you laugh? Is it making you cry? Is it where we believe and we go when we die? I say it's love. I say it's love. It's love.
You are truly a gift, you know.
Oh. As are you.
Maureen, that thing is cold.
You think better when it's cold.
Oh, okay, all right. If you say so. All right, so for announcements, a 2-minute tune-up. There are practitioners in the room that are available, and if you want a 2-minute tune-up, grab one of them after the service and decide that you're going to step into whatever it is that you desire in your heart. There are a lot of practitioners here this morning. Raise your hands, guys. And it's lots of people to help you on your way. The Law of Attraction group meets this afternoon on Zoom. The Animal Kinship meets on Zoom today, and you can contact Reverend Kathy if you have any questions. Monday, the Spiritual Unity Movement at 7 p.m., we'll have a musician and teacher of ancient indigenous music from Mexico, and that's Martin Espino. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And $20 love donation. So come and join them. Summer Sangha series with Vinu. She's did a fabulous job with this. So the last chance is this coming Wednesday at 9:30. So join her either online or in person. Next Wednesday, August the 21st, Tibetan singing bowls with Wayne McDonald. Wayne really knows how you say, the bowls are praying you in, I'm telling you, because it's beautiful. And on Wednesday, August the 28th, Reverend Jeannie is doing her Taizé service, a service of love. So Join us on Wednesday night as well as other times. Now, would you stand and sing the Declaration of Principles with me? We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnate in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal too, and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
Y'all sing with me. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. One more time, let's do it. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul.
I do my best Milli Vanilli imitation up here. They pay me not to sing on Sundays. I forgot to welcome anyone who's on the live stream this morning. If you'll turn and just wave to the people out there, let them know. And for Thibaut, here I am on the platform. Thibaut comes to us from France. We have people from Ireland. We have people from Canada. We have people from Mexico that listen to us on live stream. It's an interesting day. Let's look at that talk title. Well, when the slide is actually the real talk title from the notes from the Centers for Spiritual Living for today, and it comes from the Home Office. And when Mike Carlin saw the talk title on the constant contact, he called me and he said, "Maureen, is somebody playing a joke on you?" And I said, "No joke, it's not what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about something else." It did remind me, though, about an incident with my son when he was about 12 years old. He went into middle school and he came home the first day of school and he goes, "Oh my God, Mom," he said, "you won't believe this. There's a sex education class in middle school." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Is it time for us to talk about the birds and the bees?" And he turns to me and looks at me and he goes, "Mom, what is it you need to know?" So that's my son at 12, and he's the same at 42. You know, I laughed so hard. I can remember that day with such joy because it was such a funny moment with him. It was really funny. I digress, though. This is actually the talk title for today. So what I want to talk about is the unstatus quo. And it's an interesting, the whole month was devoted to this. And even some of the guest speakers that we had earlier this month had a little difficult time with this one. The unstatus quo and the status quo are terms that identify, in my estimation, the difference between miracles and ordinaries. And I'll get into that in a bit. But the dictionary defines status quo as the existing state of affairs, especially regarding social or political issues. what's perceived as normal. I guess you could say that. We seem to have a need to maintain the idea of status quo because change is difficult for some people. And me, I have a little hard time with change in my old age than I used to when I was in my 20s, and I'm sure a few of us can relate to that. We like things in their place and a place for everything. Have you ever noticed that? Except if you're an engineer and then your garage looks like, well, you know what. It looks like a terrible thing. You know, we like everything in its place and a place for everything, including our biases and our errant structures of knowing. There's a psychological term for this, and it's called hedonic adaptation. Big words, right? But the term was coined by two researchers in 1971, Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell, and is actually a psychological phenomenon. It suggests that people return to a stable level of happiness despite significant changes in their lives and in their circumstances, be they positive or negative. In simpler terms, they said it's the idea that the initial impact of life events like receiving a promotion or undergoing a personal setback gradually diminishes, leading individuals to revert to their baseline level of happiness over time. Do we all know about our baseline of happiness? You know, what keeps us on an even keel? We're not diving deep. We're not elevating our consciousness particularly. We're like skimming along the surface of life, but we're happy. I like happy. I like happy. As an example, for instance, when my granddaughter first learned how to ride a bike, two-wheel bike, the moment she discovered how to balance the bike as she was riding it, we witnessed a miracle. And how proud she was to finally be able to ride a two-wheeler. I mean, she was just she's so pleased with herself. She was like happy as a clam. Soon, of course, the beginning thrill of those first few rides wore off. She started mountain biking in middle school, competing with the Newbury Park High School group of mountain bikers. That's how good she was. And when the thrill of riding locally diminished, she now rides professionally at absolutely terrifying fast speeds to enhance a higher thrill. I do not need to be thrilled that way. I do not go and watch her ride her mountain bike. I'm here to tell you, I admit that, I admit it. Her expertise in riding is not lost on any of us. Riding a two-wheeler in the park isn't ordinary. It's the status quo. Riding mountain biking is an unstatus quo and a miracle. You have to want to do that in order to make it a high-level experience. I'm going to revert to the CSL title for just a second here. One of the underwater mysteries that once puzzled experts was the discovery of strange drawings in the sand with almost perfect circular patterns found off a seabed in Japan. This is a photograph of what I'm talking about. Look at how beautiful that thing is at the top of these pufferfish. It took them a decade to find out why they originated and why they suddenly appeared and disappeared until they finally managed to discover it through investigation. The author of these amazing formations, almost 2 meters wide, the formation itself is almost 2 meters wide, was a newly discovered species of pufferfish, measuring no more than 12 centimeters. Subsequent studies determined that they were ornate circles to attract mating partners. Males spend 6 weeks building these crop circles underwater to mate for a few seconds. To make them, he gathers fine sand in mounds and decorates them with seashells he finds. If he is lucky, the willing female will stand in the center of the circle to indicate approval for mating. If not, the ocean current will carry away his work of art. So nature will never cease to fascinate us. Okay, back to the regular status quo and non-status quo. Think about it. When did you experience miraculous events that eventually became ordinary or mundane? It may have been when you first learned to walk. You know, when you first learned to walk, you got up, walk a few steps, fell down, and none of those little babies said, well, I'm not doing that ever again. But they got up and they walked again, right? When you first learned to spell your name, when you first learned to surf, for some of us, cook a meal, use a computer, drive a tractor, say your ABCs, get your first paycheck, or set up your first checking account. I thought I was like, I'd arrived when I got my first checking account at Hibernia Bank in San Francisco. It may be one or more of these experiences that gave us pause. The thing about it, in 1972, I went to Philadelphia for a computer training program. I was terrified I'd be a failure at this. I wasn't even a good typist at that point, but I learned how to type, and I do about 120 words a minute on a computer now. But today, that training isn't a miracle anymore, because I use a computer every day. You know, it's a miracle when I figure out a new program. Yes, I get that. My learning curve is a little bit less than what it used to be. I'm less quick, but I'm still learning. The tendency as we get older may be to live in fear of change. Any kind of change, from the smallest inconvenience, like my Trader Joe's changing up the preserves that I like, they aren't there anymore, or to my orthopedic doctor retiring and then subsequently dying. Nancy and I share the same orthopedist. We share lots of stuff. We share the similar birthdays. I think we were twins separated before birth, right? Yeah? And you got all the color. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so here we are. This is how massive our situation is here. I mean, that's us. You are here, paying taxes and living in fear. So Stephen Covey says, to change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. Science of Mind proclaims the spiritual nature of humankind. Science of Mind proclaims the spiritual nature of humankind. It removes fear by introducing love, like Nancy talked about this morning. It places us in the mind of God as some part of the eternal wholeness. Ernest Holmes said that. You know, Reverend Nancy gave her little talk. Teresa James added the song to it. And when I think about you, Teresa, what I think about is, you know, the shift when Santa Clarita dissolved as a center for spiritual living, we thought it was the end. But for us, it was the beginning, because we got you as a result. So everything happens for good. Are we sure about that? Right. I am. So love and fear represent the duality in the human experience. But there is no duality in spirit. There is no duality in spirit. Because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, we live in the pairs of opposites in the human experience. In the spiritual experience, there is God and only God. There is love and only love, as Nancy pointed out. In spirit, there is no emotion. Spirit is. So here we have this wonderful saying by Black Elk. The Lakota shaman Black Elk once said, "We don't have to heal the earth. She can heal herself. All we have to do is stop making her sick." To this simple truth, I would add that the earth can heal us too. Zachary Fisher, whom I'm learning to love, wrote this week, and it just really energized me when I read it. He said, "A healer will trigger us. It's inevitable. That's their purpose, to trigger us into healing, to trigger our wounds to the surface, to trigger us to face our own darkness, to trigger us into accepting, integrating, and loving our shadow. Because our shadow, as Debbie Ford said to us, that's the dark side of us that comes up periodically. And when we're afraid of that dark side, it's not necessarily that we have it, but we think we might have it. Now, the other shadow side that Jung talked about is the golden shadow, which is the genius. And that's a whole other talk. But most of us are more afraid of our genius than we are of the dark side of who we are. Okay, I digress, as I usually do. But to trigger us to grow and to evolve into our highest self. It doesn't mean they're bringing out the worst in us. On the contrary, they are bringing us closer to the best in us. Intention and energy matter. So here's something that everybody should keep in mind today. There is no one prouder of who you are today than the person you once were. I mean, seriously, think about that. How life has changed for so many of us over the last year. We have in fact worked on ourselves, sometimes to ad nauseum. And what we need to do is to challenge the status quo. And that's the person who actively pursues the non-status quo. Don't be afraid to change. Embrace it. Again, I quote Stephen Covey, to change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. Now, my favorite, Maya Angelou, said, if you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. Step aside of being normal. Step aside of the status quo. Normal is the status quo. The unstatus quo is to allow ourselves to be amazing, to step out in fear and take the first step to experiencing a greater degree of livingness, as Ernest Holmes would say. We are so intimately connected with the universal creative God power that it is impossible to get away from it. Hence, we never have to wonder whether or not we are in touch with it. We can't be out of touch with it. It is where we are, and we are in it. It is in us. It is around us and flowing through us. And while this may be true, we are spiritual beings having a human experience on occasion, or maybe more than on occasion, depending on how much you watch the news. We may experience incoherence or incongruity in our lives when we observe the errant behavior of someone we love, or we experience a significant loss, whether something material like money or dignity, when someone chooses to malign our character in some way, or even the loss of someone very close to us. If we abandon God in our hour of need, have we ever known God at all? So that's the time when, don't wait until it gets to that place where you don't know what to do, where you don't have the wherewithal to think clearly, because a practitioner is going to be the one, or one of our ministers is going to be the one who might bring you from that place in consciousness to a different place in consciousness. These events in and of themselves do not change our inherent spirituality. They don't. But it can feel like it when we feel hurt or sad at the experience of, at the expense of someone else. Or when we feel that sort of undefined malaise when we wake up in the morning and we don't know what it is. It's something that might be happening 3,000 miles away across the world. And if you're interested in exploring that in more depth, a book by Greg Braden called The Isaiah Factor is an amazing book that will talk about how we really are of one mind. Earlier this week, a couple of us were discussing the value of anger in our lives. Walter Starkey, in his book, It's All God, spoke to it at length. If it's all God, then anger has to be a part of that at some level. And the idea of anger, in that it doesn't change anything in the physical reality, it's only a catalyst for change. Because when we're angry, we're usually frustrated or irritated about something. And that's a good point to step back and become the observer of our lives and say, okay, this isn't working. Now what is it that I need to do to change my thinking to have a different experience of this? The status quo then has been usurped by a circumstance or situation that left us feeling angry. And again, I speak to Eckhart Tolle, where he says, in his position on that idea, saying I am angry is a lifetime experience. Feeling angry has a beginning and an end. So it's a simple word change, right? It's a simple word change. I can feel angry momentarily, that I don't have to do it for the rest of my life. Never say I am angry to ourselves, because angry then defines who we are and becomes a lifetime experience, as I said. Whereas when we say I feel angry, again, I'm going to repeat this. It has a beginning and an end. You can use that with every negative emotion. I'm resentful. I feel resentful. I am sad. I feel sad. I am jealous. I feel jealous. Except that because we're all perfect beings having this human experience, why would one feel jealous of anyone? You know, God created us in its image and form because it loved itself so much it needed form to express. So wrap your head around that this morning. My friend Johnny Rossetti, who's a practitioner at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, said, "Today I have the dawning awareness that it may be more useful for me to become intimately acquainted with the nature of my experience than to try and figure out the cause of it." The nature of my experience. You know, God can't be defined. You can't define the ineffable. But we can define the nature of God. So find out what the nature of the experience is. What is it bringing forth in us? What feeling or emotion is it bringing forth in us? At my advanced stage, I'm always looking for useful solutions to my emotional dilemmas. And I think science of mind is one of the most useful philosophies there is. I do. I don't want to dredge up the past, even if it's something that happened in the last 24 hours. Reverend Nancy made that clear to me this week. I think 2 or 3 times. You know, I'm a good student, but not always as quick as I think I am sometimes. It's not useful to rehash anything that happened when I was 10 or 24 or 62, because it's meant to be for information only. You can't fix it anyway. You can't go back and change the past, but you can create a new ending by starting today. It's meant to be for information only, and it's usually the reactive part of us anyway. The status quo has been compromised by something someone said that reminds me of an incident when I was 24 years old. And I'm still seething over it. Now, how good is that? That other person's out there dancing somewhere, and I'm seething. That's an annoying thing to think about at my age. The status quo has been compromised. And I used to be triggered by unstatus quo for days on end. Now I handle it within 48 hours. Sometimes 4 hours is enough to devote to something that I cannot do anything about. And besides, at my age, I don't have that much time to devote to being upset any longer than I need to. I remember going to lunch with somebody out of a sense of obligation not too long ago. This person used to be at the center I was in Westlake. And I felt obligated to her because she was a great financial contributor to the center. And I realized as I was walking away from our lunch, well, that's 90 minutes I'll never get back from my life. You know, why do we do things that don't bring us joy and happiness? We do things out of a sense of obligation. And I learned to figure that out sooner than later these days. I read something recently that gave me chills, as my friend Jonna would say. And it goes like this: our purpose is not just the thing we do. It's the thing that happens to others when we do what we do. It's how we make people feel and remember us by doing what we do. It's the experience of our energy. It's the experience our energy leaves on them. By mastering our unique gifts, we step into the realm of infinite possibilities. The greatest blessing we can give to humanity is owning our purpose and inspiring others to courageously own theirs. So my suggestion today in closing is for all of us to go out there and disturb the status quo. Do whatever you can do to disturb the status quo. Carry a placard, if that's what it means. Or as Mary Kramer said earlier, pushing a blue wagon. What was that? Oh, in Florida. Yeah, you're in Florida, that's right. So disturb the status quo. Create miracles. Enjoy the changes that are occurring faster than the speed of light, knowing with God all things are possible. Will you join me in consciousness, please, for a moment? And know with me unequivocally that disturbing the status quo has merit. It has meaning. It has purpose. It is something that we can do in order to let the universe know that we're alive, awake, aware, and we're doing something about the things that bother us. We're doing something to change the trajectory, not only of our lives, but perhaps the lives of other people. When we disturb the status quo, we let normal go by the wayside, and we begin to see life from a very different perspective. And so I know for us today, taking action is really what counts. Taking action, being in the light of truth, and knowing unequivocally that what we do makes a difference in this world. As together we say, and so it is.
Years cannot age you. Fear cannot scare you. Pain cannot hurt you. Death cannot kill you. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. War cannot harm you. Hunger cannot starve you. Sin cannot shame you. Guilt cannot blame you. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. When you're doubting your direction and you feel like giving up, choose love. Money has spent you. Beauty will tempt you. Fame will fool you. Power will rule you. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. Choose love. When you're doubting your direction and you feel like giving up, choose love. Choose love. Pain cannot hurt you. Death cannot kill you. Just choose love. Choose love. Oh, sin cannot shame you. Guilt cannot blame you. Choose love. Choose love.
I know I've shared this before with you, but Beethoven said that music is the mediator between the spiritual and the sensual. And you exemplify that with your beautiful music. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now this is the best part. This is our time of conscious giving at our center. And Chloe is bringing the basket up. And because Reverend Mike's not here, I'm doing something a little different this morning, as I did in the first service. If you'll hold your gift in your hand, if you've brought one with you to share. If not, just put your hand over your heart and repeat after me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. Next time we'll do it with more emphasis. Please do come up and contribute and listen to the music while this is happening.
Y'all sing along with me. Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So just quickly, go within for a second and know that the gifts that have been given this morning have been given with generosity in heart, spirit, mind, and body, knowing that as we give, so do we receive. And the expectation is from unexpected avenues. Pay attention this week to where you're in the divine flow of God's good in life when it's least expected, because those are the moments that are the miracles of life. The ordinaries of life would mean that you just simply don't notice, but this week get to notice that and know that God in its infinite wisdom has created us to live a superlative life experience, a life of good, better, best, superlatively living financially free, happy, joyous, and free on so many different levels as we journey about this business doing life. For this, we're truly grateful this morning, and we let it be so as we say together, and so it is. So my friend Archie was at the first service this morning. He came back for the second service. So do you have a bag full of goodies? Yes. He has created a wonderful balm, and his company name is called Da Balm. So on your way out, he will be there at the door to present something to you as you're leaving. He gave a couple to us during the break. He went home, came back, and here you are again. So thank you, Archie, for the gifts you're giving this morning. And thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Reverend Nancy. Thank you, everybody who contributed to the Karma Yoga last Saturday, because this church is sparkling clean. And some of you did above and beyond the call of duty, as Reverend Jeannie confided in me last Monday. So we're very glad that you're all here. And I'm glad to tell you that Reverend Mike is recovering. He's finally eating solid food, and in little bits, but still nonetheless solid food. So we know that to be his truth and his journey, and we let him have it as we all join in consciousness. Bring a friend next Sunday. Let's just make sure that some of these seats are filled next week so we can show that it's ongoing while Mike is absent. So, and keep him in your morning prayers. Reverend Nancy will come and close us out, then we'll do the peace song, and we'll go home. Up here.
See? Tell me that.
I love it.
Oh, it is a glorious morning in which we truly appreciate the idea that we are willing and open and receptive to the idea of stepping into something new. We're willing to embrace the changes of being and step into the newness of life. And we go forth from this experience renewed in our understanding and awareness that we are the way in which spirit is experiencing the newness of life. And so we willingly become those vessels in all our experience. So with love, joy, peace, and harmony, we go forth to know that life is living anew through us, as us, and for us. And together we acknowledge this by sign. And so it is.
Y'all want to join in a circle and sing along with me? Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our power, tell